My name is Cilch, crazy nickname from art school, and I'm gonna read my story, a little excerpt from Did That Really Happen? And I don't know, can I see? Like these glasses look weird all of a sudden. Okay, oh, that's better. All right, I gotta shake it off. Okay.
Shake it off.
Shake the tree. This was my 7th wedding, and although the first will always be special, I couldn't imagine another wedding being more extraordinary. I had been officiating nuptials since 1991, almost 3 years, ordained by the Universal Life Church. I'll never forget receiving the minister's license and the booklet that came with it explaining the founding church principles: freedom, food, and sexuality. I had found my religion. I was in my early 30s and my family wasn't impressed. My sister, who had just gotten married, taunted me by singing, "Chili keeps marrying and marrying and marrying, but never gets married herself," riffing from the musical Gypsy. Sure, I wanted to get married, but surprisingly, this outrageously extroverted gal pivoted to painfully shy when it came to men I found attractive. Most of the time, I couldn't even muster up the courage to say hello. I had met my clients, Henry and Jocelyn, at Balboa Park's Prado building to plan their costume party wedding. Oh, sorry. Okay. "What will you be wearing?" I asked them. "Anthony and Cleopatra," they answered in unison. Later that night, I pondered, what am I going to wear? Deciding on my outfit was always a concern, given as an officiant, I'd be front and center in all the wedding pictures. Then I had an idea. Having cleared it with the bride and securing the rental, it was settled. I would be Glinda the Good Witch from the magical kingdom of Oz. A week later, as I waited for the wedding to start, I admired my reflection in the full-length mirror. It's perfect. A pink hoop-skirted gown, a wavy red wig topped with a spectacular lucite crown, and a wand.
Of course she is.
Okay, ignore the officially retired part. I watched hidden from the second-floor balcony as Anthony and Cleopatra made their entrance into the courtyard, throwing gold coins to their guests. I then descended the staircase amidst bubbles, floating down upon the wedding assembly to the orchestration from the Wizard of Oz. At the part of the ceremony when I asked the couple to exchange vows, in my most Glinda-like voice, I declared, "I now have a very important question for each of you." Turning to the groom, I asked, "Henry, will you be a good husband or a bad husband?" "I'll be a good husband," Henry answered, laughing, and Jocelyn promised to be a good wife. I pronounced them married, and the happy couple sealed their vows with a kiss to uproarious applause. I felt elated that the ceremony went so well. I didn't flub the vows or soil my beautiful dress. In my relief, I imbibed a bit too heavily in the cascading champagne fountain. The entire wedding party was dancing, and I was enjoying the swoosh of my dress as I spun in circles. I remember waving to the groom, Henry, across the dance floor. He flashed me his warm smile. He was busy distributing special party favors to some of the guests. He danced over to me and whispered in my ear, "Do you want some?" It was a narcotic. Let's call it E. I hesitated. Then an inebriated thought struck me. Drugs never seem to do anything to me, so why not? As the summer light faded, costume guests danced merrily to the wedding DJ's tune. Wait, I know that DJ. It's Sam. The stark white of his sailor costume reflected the warm glow from the setting sun. About 5 years earlier, a girlfriend told me that Sam had a crush on me. I considered him with renewed interest. I thought, that white uniform contrasts nicely with his skin. I'd forgotten about the little pill. It took about an hour to cast me in its spell, proving my wayward notion incorrect. I was not impervious to drugs. I felt myself swirling in an tornado that dizzily landed me inside a magical place. I felt energized by the E. Colors were brighter, and I felt like I was floating. I found everyone and everything enchanting. After what seemed like 30 minutes, probably closer to 3 hours, I noticed most of the guests had left. Folded tables and stacked chairs waited for transport. My muddled brain queried, how am I going to get home? I'll take you, Sam offered. I looked at him with inspired arousal. And now you're going to have to buy the book and read it.